Surrounded by talons, the Robins spring into action. But Rico sits, so terrified she is unable to move, remembering something she heard long ago. Beware the Court of Owls that watches all the time, ruling Gotham from a shadow perch behind granite and lime. They watch you at your heart, they watch you in your bed. Speak not a whispered word of them, or they'll send a talon for your head. Tim Drake orders the Robins not to hold anything back. These things aren't alive, but rather reanimated servants of the Court of the Owls. Jason Todd has the Robins group up and work together, and Damian agrees. If they are tactical and cooperative, they will win this fight. Jason and Tim look on at the young son of their mentor and are impressed. Drake thinks that they might be able to win this one, but one of the Talons disagrees. They heal from every blow, and many of the Robins have started to falter. Suddenly, Damian has an idea. He orders everyone back down into the cage, and tricks a Talon into detonating some explosive barrels on the roof. Meanwhile, at Gotham City Hall, Councilwoman Noctua is having a meeting with a representative of the Court of the Owls. They want her to commit fully to their cause, but what they are asking for her to do next is too much. It will expose her. But the Owls don't care. This is a crucial part of a much larger, global plan. She must position the police immediately as they say, or she will no longer be considered for membership within the Owls, and they will revoke the protection they are giving her. She calls the new Batman and says there is an emergency. Deep underground, in the Court of the Owls labyrinth, Dick Grayson is fighting many of the Owls' forces. He demands to know why they care so much about the Robins, and a Talon says they are all doomed, and only one man knows why. So Grayson demands to be taken to this person, and the Talon calms down, replying the Grey Sun only had to ask. Rocked by the explosion, the Robins regroup inside the cage. Damian remarks that many Talons have been awakened for this, and all because of this Grey Sun. He declares that this madness must stop. The others recover and escape, but Damian disappears. While Tim, Jason, and some of the more experienced Robins know this isn't over, they send the rest of the group home. Jason promises to finish their training when all this is done, but for now, their part in all of this is over. Rico mentions that she's seen a Talon before, at Gotham Academy, and takes the more experienced Robins to where she saw the Owl's henchmen. They sneak into a tunnel under the school, and discover a sinister facility run by the Owls which is creating elite Talons. As they debate what to do, an explosion occurs, and the new Batman appears. He says the Owls are under arrest, and the Robins leap in to help out. This frustrates Jim Gordon, who says they could have worked together. Instead, he had to follow them here, but there's no time for such qualms. The new Batman strikes out at the machine, destroying it. Batman says he was called in to apprehend terrorists and that this place is full of them. He's contacting the police and suggests that the Robins might want to clear out of here while he's waiting for them. The Robins comply, grateful at these words. They begin an escape through a tunnel. Meanwhile, Dick is taken to a man who knows what is happening, Lincoln March. The Owl is unafraid of Grayson and even mocks the young man. He throws his drink into Grayson's face and it burns Dick's eyes. Lincoln's claws are already out. He's gotten what he wanted. Yes, they did want Grayson to join their ranks, but they don't need him anymore. They don't want him anymore. Their plans will be just fine without him, and now they just want Dick to die. Somebody better has come before them and made a most welcome offer. In the sewers of Gotham, the Robins are confronted by a new foe, a new Grey Sun, and the Owls like him so very much. Hello and welcome to Comic Island. My name is Arden, and this is my recap and review of Robin, Son of Batman number 7. So here we are with the second to last issue of Robin War. It's been a fun event and one that has done a lot right. It hasn't dragged out too long or overstayed its welcome, and it never tried to be anything it wasn't. It's a relatively simple event that deals with all the recent changes in the world of Batman and spends a lot of time on what Robin is and what this character stands for. Robin, son of Batman number 7, continues this trend. I like the ongoing story, and there's a good amount of clever writing to continue things forward. I also like how they kind of are showing this intercontinuity between all these different titles. In the Detective Comics issue, they kept teasing this idea of the cage being filled with hazardous materials. At the time, I didn't think much of this. I figured it was just a plot device to get Harvey and Jim onto the roof, because Bullet couldn't smoke anywhere else in the facility. But it turns out that was all set up for the Robin's escape in this issue. That's pretty clever, and I appreciate little details like that. Now, the art is relatively simple in its design. It feels cartoonish and doesn't have a lot of detail. That's okay in general, as there's plenty of comics with this art style that work really well. But here, with all these complicated fight scenes and different characters, it does take away from the story a bit. It's not really a deal breaker, but I think it's kind of bothering me because of the biggest problem in the entire Robin War event. It's cool to involve so many different writers and artists in one fairly seamless story, but the wildly fluctuating art styles of these comics make it feel a little disjointed. We go from the spectacular art style of something like Grayson number 15 to something, we'll say, less spectacular, like Detective Comics number 47, and it makes things seem a little lackluster in comparison because it's all part of the same ongoing story. Because it flows so seamlessly from one part to the other, the changing art really does throw you off. Still, the story is well written and interesting, and I thought the cliffhanger to this comic ended on was pretty good. I assume, based on how Damian's been acting so far and in the direction of the story in general, that Damian is just playing traitor. He's, infiltrating the Owls' ranks to strike them when they're more vulnerable. I mean, I could be wrong here, but I have a hard time believing that Damian has turned villain so suddenly. Regardless, I'm looking forward to the finale of this event, which will be depicted in Robin War number 2. So stay tuned for that, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep reading comics.